Now is digital marketing tycoon Chris Brown, who originally planned to join the Titanic Tour Submersible, but pulled out for safety concerns. His friend Hamish Harding is among those missing on board. And first off, we got to say, Chris, thank you for joining us this morning. Our thoughts are with you, everyone on board, and their families as well. And I know you were close with Hamish. Can you please tell us about it?
Yes, good morning. I think, first of all, the thoughts are really much more with the family and his close friends and families, not just Hamish, but the other 4 people that are down on the sub. All of our concentration needs to be on that right now. You know, we've got lives at risk. It's the news this morning about them picking up sounds is good and bad news. In an ideal world, we'd have seen that the sub had come up to the surface and was bobbing around just undetected. If the sounds are coming from below the water, then that indicates that they may be alive under the water, but now we've got time pressures in getting them up to the surface.
Yeah, you know, time is definitely of the essence. And you say you were one of the first people to sign up for this Titanic Tour mission. What initially drew you to join?
Well, it's being a sort of a modern day adventurer, interested in pushing the boundaries of our knowledge and places that people go. Hamish and myself are both on the Virgin Galactic program to go up into space, and Hamish actually went into space about a year ago with Blue Origin. And the Titanic's obviously an iconic wreck. And the Ocean Gate had put forward this program to go down and do a 3D scan of the wreck with the view to then being able to see how it's decaying so that the wreck could be preserved. And that's it. It's so the mission specialists like Hamish going down there would have the job of either scanning, or they could be in charge of the communications up to the surface, stuff like that. So it's a chance for an expedition, exploration, and adding a bit of science into the situation.
And prior to signing up for the trip, what did you know about Ocean Gate expeditions?
Prior to myself signing up, very little. I was. It was one of these situations where a couple of guys who knew a lot more about the Titanic, and one guy was into shipping, was his business, brought it to my attention. I just thought, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
And you said that safety issues ultimately led you to pull out of the trip. What were some of those safety concerns that you had?
They did. I'm not really sure that this is the time to be going into that sort of thing. I think that the focus right now has to be on trying to rescue these people. It's not fair on the families and friends to be making speculation about what might have happened or how it happened at this point.
We can definitely understand that. And do you feel any apprehension about joining similar projects in the future? Because as you said, you are a modern day adventurist.
No. What you tend to do is, I mean, some people physically write it down. You think about all the risks that might be involved in whatever exploration adventure that you're going on. And then you see if you don't have an appetite for those risks, then you might not go ahead. You may try and mitigate those by bringing in some expertise from outside. You might have other risks or dangers that could be mitigated by changing the time of when you go out there. You know, I've very recently been out. I became the first person ever to get to the pole of inaccessibility in Africa. Very dangerous situation, but by choosing the right people to work with, timings, the equipment, we made it all work. So that's what you tend to do as an adventurer. What we tend as a group not to take into account very well is the effect on our friends and family. I know that from talking to my own family, and we fully understand the risks and will take them on board, but they haven't been so involved with the process, and they tend to kind of be left a little bit in the dark. And then they're worried, and then unfortunately you get a situation like this, and it's just probably as if the bottom has dropped out of their worlds, and really do feel for them.
Yeah, we do as well. A lot of worry on the part of those families, and as we said earlier, our thoughts are with those families and those on board. Chris Brown, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Welcome.